I had to take 3 of my kittens to the vet this morning at 10 a.m. and it is 2 degrees outside. It got in the negatives at some point today. I don't know. So I've been in like this weird hibernation mode, but I am here. So let's get into it.
I told myself I was actually going to sit down and edit because this is an hour's worth of me talking. But here's the deal. I recorded this back in January. It is April 10th. And I tried sitting down, and I swear if I say one more time in this video while trying to clip it, I'm going to kind of lose it. I've already had to stop because just trying to cut it down is not really my jam. So instead, you're getting voice over me, and Pat from January is going to be talking about whatever she's talking about with all this. But like I said in this video, hi, my name is Patrick. I am an artist. This is a Meet the Artist kind of video, and I'm going to kind of just read off some notes that I had written down for this. Some of the bigger basics to know about the person that is running the channel. My name is Patrick. That's not the name that I had when I was born. That's actually the name that I chose when I was 16. I got it legally changed when I was 17 when I got married. I got married very young. I graduated high school, and I thought back then that was like the greatest decision because it got me out of my family's house, it got me out of my small town, and I also got free college, free benefits. My ex-husband was a military soldier, so we both thought it was a great idea until we got married and lived together and realized we really did not like each other. And it just turned into like this really weird roommate relationship. And when COVID happened, he was overseas. I was by myself literally during the entire pandemic until about August when I left him. I moved to the town that I live in now. It's actually about 20 miles from where my hometown is, which, not like great. I was hoping to like not live in this state anymore, but I'm still near my family, and I have a lot of things have actually worked out well for me, to say the least. Like, for instance, and there's going to be a little bit here where I show off my baby bump, and I might actually like stop talking just to show that bit if it does come up and I feel like it. But I have a kid. His name is Winston. He would have been 5 weeks old today as I'm filming this. He passed away very recently, but even though I don't have him, I'm really grateful that I got to have the time that I did have with him. And I'm just going to be honest, I'm not deep diving into all that. That's just really all I'm going to say is I had a son. I'm still kind of a mom, but we're going to go from there. I live in a small town, and my small town really does know me as the crazy cat lady because I accidentally adopted 13 animals, 13 cats. And it's, there's, I swear I did not just go out and pick these cats off of the street, quite literally. It's like I told everybody along the way, if they chose me, I take them in, and a lot of them have been like, yo, I'm going to your house for today, and I'm just going to stay there. So I have 13 cats. Their names are Neptune, Pluto, Comet, Star, Jupiter, Siri, Haley, Jasper, Frank, Oriole, Axel, Dust Bunny, and then Zola. I think that's everybody. I may have missed one. I don't know. But I have a lot of cats, and yes, it is very exhausting, and it is very stressful sometimes, but I love my cats, and I'm actually trying to work on getting some of them rehomed. That way I can kind of curve down my number, because it's getting a little embarrassing most days to be like, yeah, I have so many animals. Wow, that's a lot. Thank you, Karen. I know it is. I also have 2 dogs. Their names are Ghost and Tea. when I started this relationship with my fiance, I only had one. His name is Ghost, but we have kind of made it very clear with one another that if this relationship dissolves, I have to take T with me because T is a mama's boy and that's my baby. did not intentionally make it happen, but it did. And I have a fiance. This is my son's father. I've known him for about 3, almost 4 years now. I've been living in Kinsley for a long time. We're co-workers at the job that I have here, and we are best friends, and I really love him. He's my, like I said, he's my best friend. He is my biggest cheerleader. He really tries to push me through a lot of my dark times. And it's like, like tonight I really wanted to just rot, and it's like he won't let me just do that. I'm forced to take care of myself, and I really appreciate that in a partner, especially having someone just there being like, no, you can't do this to yourself. Like, you need to be okay for a little bit. But no, I'm engaged. I can fondly say that. We have a date picked out, and I'm very excited. It's like I get to start doing some wedding planning here pretty soon. I'm 22, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because a lot of my life, just a lot that has happened in my life has happened so early on that a lot of people that, and it's kind of weird seeing people my age who don't really have the same experiences as me. For instance, a lot of my coworkers at my job, they're always just partying. They're always like, they're now getting to that point where they're being serious and they're having kids and they're, taking finances very seriously. And they're like 26, 27. I'm over here when at 22, I'm already like, yeah, like, I have this going on. I have a house that I'm trying to pay off, that my parents helped me buy. It's like, it took a lot of like convincing to let them do this, just because it was kind of a big purchase in a way of it's going to be a lot of renovations and whatnot. Actually, the house that I'm in this video is my house. I don't live there anymore. I lived there very shortly for a month, realized this was not going to work out, and then I got pregnant, and we just kind of made that decision that I was like, no, like, I can't keep living in this house while I'm pregnant because it's not going to function very well. And it's a lot of money. I kind of, I lived in a house before this that I was just renting, and I didn't, I was putting in money, but I've already put in like almost $3 or $4 grand myself into working on this house. And it's like my mom and dad have already put in money to help me pay to fix this house because we had to do just a lot of work. For instance, we had to like redo all the gas lines. We had to do water line repairs. I've had to buy appliances. My mom had to buy appliances for me. And this summer we have one big project for the exterior of the property. And then I'm also having to landscape the property for a garden. I'm doing a lot of this at 22. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel kind of proud of myself that I'm doing this kind of stuff, because there was a while there that, when I was like 21, I was just 21 to 20, I was just partying a lot, and I wasn't really all that sober, and I really don't miss that part of me anymore. I'm very happy with where I'm at this age. I'm also mentally ill. I've been diagnosed with 2 different mental illnesses. One is borderline personality disorder and then bipolar. But I haven't I haven't had like that whole like 8-hour psychiatry diagnosis. And I'm actually hoping to get one of those this year. I spoke to my medication doctor about that the last time I saw her. And it was, it was a conversation we were having, but I couldn't do it quite then because I was pregnant. But, you know, hopefully this year I can actually get like a full diagnosis, because my family and I were starting to think I have ADHD. We're starting to notice that I might be slightly autistic. Like, we're just, a lot of like my medication, it's not working like it used to anymore, which kind of sucks. But hopefully with this diagnosis, it can make my life a lot more easier and whatnot. I'm really hoping this diagnosis helps me in the future. My main job is a machinist, or a CNC machine operator. What that basically is, I work at a machine shop, and, you know, some of you guys have probably heard, you know, machine shops that make tools, machine shops that, you know, there's like carpentry varieties of it. There's also like manufacturing aspects of it. I work in a shop that manufactures hydraulic cylinders, and those are it's basically like the nervous system for farming equipment, agricultural. We are agricultural. Very specifically, it's like, I know we do make stuff for like garage doors, and like garbage compact trucks was one that I heard of a while back. But the main thing we do is we make equipment for a company that does farming equipment. And I love my job. I used to be, before I gave birth, I was technically like this weird like section leader. And then I got to a point where I had enough people trained that I didn't have to like run around all the time. However, it's like, I have a feeling I'm still going to be doing that at some point here soon. I'm currently on part-time. I just got off of maternity leave this week, and I only work 2 days now, so I have quite a bit more time to do art and work on my house, which is kind of odd, but I'm kind of okay with it, because the 2 days I work on my rod saw. The area that I work at now is the saw, which is basically just cutting all the equipment, the raw materials before they get, you know, ran, cut, built, drilled, whatever. Like, one saw cuts the rods, which is like the center spine of the whole thing. If it wasn't there, there would be no cylinder. And then the middle saw does our tubes, which is basically like the exterior skin to protect all the little interior parts, the rod, the pistons. It's like there's at least one more other part that I'm not saying out loud that I can't remember, but it's like, and then I have the ductile saw, which isn't always on 24/7, and that cuts, you know, the piston, and that's like really the most fun one for me personally, just to see like this big hunk of steel metal, and then, you know, a few days later, you see that it has been drilled out, it has been like shaved into, it has been cut into, and then it's like this little piston. I have like a collection of like these pieces now at my house. And it also, you know, those aren't really like just the 3 things, but those are the main things. Sometimes I cut pin eyes, I cut bushings, and I also cut bypass caps, which are also extra little accessories that can go on hydraulic cylinders depending on the type cylinder model that you're buying. I've been at this company for about 3 years now, and to be completely honest, when I had my son, I made the decision and I had the realization this week that I love my job, but it's not quite something that I want to do until I'm 50. So it's starting to kind of just seem like this little, it's just a job to keep paying the bills now. I'm really good at it, so I have no interest in leaving. But I do know down the road I would like to make my main priority and focus my art and, you know, my family. My intentions were to be a stay-at-home mom after my son was born, but that's not going to happen. So here I am at my job. I'm not going to lie. I went to work for 6 hours. The shift was 8, and I left early because it was like, I just didn't want to be doing that stuff anymore. Like, I really just wanted to go home. I'm an artist. I've been doing art since forever. I started really, really young. I have like a whole big ass family of artists in the family. My papa, my grandfather on my mom's side, he painted, he did, I can't remember what it's called, but like he would add, like he would put this little like beadery pattern on clothing. I do not know what that is called. And he also did those, he did beadwork like the Native Americans did, because we are Native American, and he used to make bracelets and he made earrings. I have a few of them. I don't have a matching set anywhere. I just have all these matching ones. When I was in high school, everybody would always notice and be like, why are you wearing two different ones? And I finally got to be like, well, he passed away before he made the other ones, so... He did a lot of that. He was also an architect, and he was very great with his hands, to say the least. And then my mom, she's a Zentangle art designer, and she's gotten really good at it in her golden years, to say the least. It's like she's getting to that point where like people are wanting to teach her, and it's like the only thing that's holding her back is she doesn't have a license. I didn't know that you needed a license to teach Zentangle art until my mom was telling me about it, because when I was in high school, you know, we're just learning it, and you know, I wasn't great at it, but I'm just like, really? Like, it's like $2,000 for a license, and it is just really crazy how the world once is I don't know. It's just really fucking crazy, to say the least. But no, my mom, she's getting really good at it. I keep telling her every day that, you know, she really needs to sit down and start a business of selling her art, but I don't know what's stopping her, to say the least. And then I got my sister. She does a lot of photography. She also does the beadwork bracelets, like my grandfather. She's also like, she's like this really big collector of hobbies, to say the least, because every time for a while there, I used to go to her house and she'd be like, I'm doing clay right now. I just bought a new 3D printer. Or it's like, you know, I'm working on jewelry. Or for a while there, it was like she's doing watercolors. Like every time for a while there that I would visit her or see her, she would have like a new hobby going on. And that's not bad, because, you know, you're exploring what you like and all that. But it's like I definitely felt better, because it was like, you know, I had that phase too, because it was like, oh my God, I want to make Coraline dolls this week. Or it's like, oh, you know, I'm making friendship bracelets. Or, oh, I'm painting all the time. So it's like, I definitely completely understand that. But my sister, like, the main things that I see her doing a lot these days are she does a lot of photography. She does a lot of landscapes. There was a point there that she did horse photography. She would take pictures for a friend, and then now she's working on 3D printing. I haven't really heard a whole lot recently. It's like she got it to like make a fidget toy, I think. I can't really recall. And then like the other one is she does clay. She made this big like lizard thing, and last time I saw it, it was just really cool. She was in the middle of like getting ready to bake, like drying it out to bake it. I'm just like, okay, that's like really fucking cool. And then there's me. I keep it pretty consistent these days. You know, I don't have a whole lot I don't have like this big array of art supplies surrounding me. I do have quite a bit, but it's usually in the same categories. So, you know, I don't have to be like, oh, like I got this, I got that. But I definitely feel like I'm going to start branching out more this year, now that I definitely feel really motivated and inspired to make artwork, to say the least. So the main art supply that I always carry with me, I love because they're very dependable for me, is the Posca paint pens. In 2020, I got TikTok, and I got on art TikTok, and I saw how beautiful these pens did. I saw how great they flowed. I was mesmerized, to say the least, and I really love them, guys. I bought one set thinking, okay, like whatever, and then I have not stopped putting them down. I have that same set. I've been kind of throwing them out because I finally get to the point where I'm drying them out. But I had the same set for 4 years. I now have at least like 4 or 5 sets that are just basically combined together. You know, I got the main, I think it's like a 12, don't count me on that, but like there's this regular set, and then there's the bold set, then there's the fine liner set, and then there's the pastels. And I haven't bought like a big box because the big boxes are really expensive. I don't know if any of you know how much Posca paint pens are, but to just get like a regular set of them, of like, I think it's like a box of 12 or 10, it's almost $50 to $40 on Amazon. So I don't rarely buy these. It's like the last time I bought a big bulk amount of them was for my birthday back in 2020. And it's like, I'm about to get ready to actually buy another set to replace some of my bigger colors, because I use them a lot. I love the red. If there is a good red in the medium I am using, I am going to use that until it is dead. It is beaten. But the Posca red is just really, really good. And then I got gouache. That's like this acrylic watercolor paint. I saw it online because, you know, I used to do bullet journaling for a long time, and that was like something that I saw a few girlies use. Like, oh, I have gouache. And, you know, I don't have the little, the paint tubes of it. I bought the Hemi gouache set because that was also, you'll notice some of the art mediums I use are because of the 2020 art trends. I bought I want to say it was a 12 set. It wasn't like a really big set, to say the least. And I bought it and I tried it out, and I really didn't like it back then. But then this past Peachtober, I also need to get back on that. This past Peachtober, I decided I wanted to do gouache. So I bought a brand new set because my old one dried out. And then when I went to reactivate it, it created an entire mold colony, which I didn't realize gouache could do until my second one and my first one started growing them. Really great. I know. Love it. I bought a second set. I have the 24 color set, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm still using it to this day, but unfortunately, I found out if you leave too much water in the containers in your gouache, it can actually grow mold, because, you know, I used it for Peachtober, but then I let it sit for a month away. You know, I didn't think about it, and then like a month later, I needed a color. I pull it out and there is mold growing. And, you know, I found out you're actually not supposed to keep them. I found this out like after the fact I cleaned it. You're not supposed to keep it. You're actually supposed to throw away the pods that are contaminated, essentially. But what I started doing was I was scooping it out, and then, like, you know, another week or so, if I didn't touch it, I'd have to go in and scoop it out some more. So now I got 3 little paint pods in my fridge under a Ziploc bag, just away from the rest of my paint palette, because, you know, if they're gonna like just slowly eat themselves, that's good. But you can do that without, I don't like buying new paint supplies very often. I don't like buying art supplies for myself, because for a while there I would buy so much and then I would just never use it. I let it sit. For instance, I bought a lot of canvas back in 2020 because I was like, I'm gonna paint all the time. And then I bought like $100 or $200 worth of canvas, and it's still sitting around. And it's like, I feel really bad when I buy stuff now. So I just wait until the last minute if I need to buy more paint supplies. However, when I go to Hobby Lobby and I see the paintbrushes are on clearance for like $1 a piece, I'm grabbing those because those are usually $6. I mentioned Peachtober earlier. While I got gouache, I started getting into color pencils because that past summer I was really into portraits of this one guy that like I had kind of a thing for, but it's kind of whatever. And I was always drawing him in color pencils. But then I was watching people who were doing paint and like specifically gouache, and they had Prismacolors. Well, I didn't have Prismacolors, but I had a ton of them. But I was like, you know what? I'm buying myself gouache. I'll buy myself a set of the Prismacolors, and I love them. They are so soft. They are so vibrant. I use those. I grab them a lot, and I have never seen a white color pencil do its job as beautiful as that. That's another thing. If I find a good white and a medium, much like the red, I am going to abuse that because it is just so pretty. I love doing highlights. I really do. So for a while there, I was doing Peachtober. I actually only got through like a day and a half before I stopped it, but I still use a lot of these mediums, and I'm gonna actually pick that back up. I know it's not Peachtober 2023, but I need to keep myself like from going batshit crazy about my life right now, so I'm gonna pretend it's Peachtober 2023, okay guys? Those are the main things that I love using in my sketchbook. I have a 600-page sketchbook. I bought it back in 2020, and I started painting in it, and I want to say December 2022, right a little after I got with my now fiance, because, you know, it was like this had been sitting in my stuff since 2020, and I used to feel really, you know, I don't know I can't think of the word, but I used to feel really intimidated, there it is, by this sketchbook because it is very large and I had no idea how I was going to fill it. And I am about, I want to say like a quarter of the way through. And I just, oh my God, it is so huge. I'm actually going back to empty pages now and just kind of filling them back in with pictures that I printed out, just so, you know, it's like, it's full. I want it to be really thick. I have damaged this thing. The front cover, it's broke. So this is my sketchbook. I'm actually going to get ready to buy a smaller sketchbook to keep with me when I travel because this thing is not convenient to travel with. And I really hate pulling it out and sitting down and be like, okay, this is... because it needs like a whole like workstation. It's not something you could take to a little coffee shop and be like, I'm gonna doodle, because I know I've been seeing that on YouTube lately of people just going to a coffee shop and drawing, and it's like, I want to do that, but not with my big monsters sketchbook. I'm also paint on canvas. Obviously, since that's what this video is about, I'm actually working on, in this video, I'm working on my dog. I really love him. Trust me, I do. I love my dog. And I did something new with this painting. I did oil as the background because I had these like old ass oil paints from when I was like 10 to 12 that was given to me in like this big art paint set that my sister got that she gave my mom, but my mom wanted the color pencils, so I got everything else, which was just the paints. So I'm really big this year into using my older stuff. That way I can get rid of it because I've actually gotten through a lot of my old materials now. And I'm getting to that point where I can be like, okay, I want to actually update and I want to get better stuff now. Like I'm really excited to finally be rid of all of these little, these pen gear markers that I bought back in 2019 because they're just so gross, but I just need to give them to my niece actually, and then she can ruin them for me, but I paint. I'm going to start using oil more down the road. I'm going to actually like get good paints, and I'm doing acrylic right now as we speak. That's what like all like the main stuff is. And then once all of like my older stuff is gone, I'm gonna like start investing in the better quality acrylics because I see what you guys do online and I see that thickness and I see the blendability and I just see how it doesn't dry out in 2 seconds. And I am so envious. But I do have some really big painting projects that I'd love to do this year. I told myself back in January I was going to do a painting about the size that we see right there, which is like a 20 by 10. But it's April, and this is the only one that I've done. So I'm technically behind already. So I decided that, I just want to do stuff that, I'm really happy to do. And very recently I was in the city with my mom. We were having a girls' day to just take our mind off of everything. And Hobby Lobby was having a sale on stuff, and they had a sale on their canvas. And so I bought a 30 by 40 for half the price. And I am not gonna lie, guys, I've never painted anything this size except once before on cardboard, and I didn't keep that painting for very long. And even after I had that painting, I felt I just really didn't like that painting because it looked horrible to me, to say the least. But I'm gonna start getting work on it pretty soon. I just wanted to finish doing this and whatnot, and then I'm going to actually start using a different filming tool. My friend in town, my best friend Dean, gave me an iPad. This isn't one that he bought. This is actually one that was given to him as a repair job, and he got it fixed, but they didn't want to keep it because it was technically discarded school property. So I have an iPad now. I need to figure out how to set it up, and then I'm going to actually start using that in my filming. That way I don't have a video sitting on my phone for 3 to 4 months like I seem to do a lot. And I just have a work tool that I can actually be focused on and whatnot. So hopefully once I'm done filming, once I'm done editing this video, I can really get started on it. This painting is going to be actually in a series that I've been kind of building up in my mind. I kind of wrote out some thumbnails for it recently, and it's going to be my son. It's going to be my fiance. It's going to be me, and it's going to be very emotional for me, to say the least, to be working on these because of my son. And yeah, I'm really excited. This is my first big painting, and taking it very seriously, and I'm really excited to work on it, I guess I should say. There are a few different art mediums I would really love to branch out in. I really want to get back in clay. I did clay back in high school, and I loved just when you are working with clay, you're not thinking about everything that is going on in your life. You are just so focused on smoothing out detail on, if you're working on a pottery wheel, it's great. It's heaven. I really want to get back into it, and I bought some clay. I'm going to make little Christmas ornaments based on my cats, and for my family, I'm going to make a set every year. And I'm also getting into flower pressing right now, because if I get this painting done, I'm going to do a big painting for me, and then 2 for my mom and my sister for Mother's Day, that are flowers that I received, and hopefully it goes really well. I hope, fingers crossed. And I'd like to get back into doing a few other things, but those are the main 2 that I think about a lot, I should say. I want to do crocheting and knitting, because I really like you can make your own clothing, you can make your own toys. I just really enjoy hands-on stuff, I guess I should say. I do have other hobbies. I love gardening. I am actually starting my first seedlings. I don't know how it's going because I haven't seen them sprout yet, and I've had them for 2 weeks. Getting a little worried, but we'll see. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. My house has a really ample amount of gardening space, and I told myself, because one of my friends gave me a big bag of tomato seeds, jalapeno and whatnot, so I just was like, I'm gonna make tomato sauce and jalapenos, so why not? We'll see what happens, I guess. And then I got more seeds, which are flowers, and then I got this, and then I got that. So I was like, okay, I am just growing a lot this year, and we're just gonna see what happens. So hopefully, really hopefully, if this goes well, and then once I get my gardening all cleared out, I'm going to actually buy some little fruit plants. I want to do berries, mainly because I like strawberry jam a lot, but but I eat a lot of it. So it's like, I kind of want to learn to grow my own plants, even though they're not technically really suitable for the garden zone I live in. I didn't know there was like so many different zones in America. I know there's like time zones and like seasonal zones, but there is like, the seasonal zones are what is affecting the garden zones. And it's like, yeah, you can't grow this here or you can't grow this here, which is why like my mom doesn't have a walnut tree at her place. Otherwise she would have black walnuts everywhere in her house. She really loves black walnuts. So I have that skill. I also really enjoy photography. I love scrapbooking. I love capturing memories, and I love looking back, you know, in a few months' time and being like, oh yeah, like that happened. And then, you know, being able to recall all the good moments of that point. And, you know, it's kind of hard having that right now, but I'm trying my best. I am reading. I've been reading some books. I kind of blame my son for that because it was like, you know, I wanted a way to like bond with my child. So I started reading him Cujo by Stephen King. If nobody knows what that book is about, it's not child friendly, which is why I read it to an infant, because he doesn't actually understand what I'm saying, but he understands that it's my voice. So he was enjoying it, and it was that was the book. That was actually the only book that we got to read. But I really enjoyed it. I'm actually reading Fault in Our Stars by John Green, and then I'm going to go back to more Stephen King. And this is also another way to like get my stuff moved into my fiance's house, because for a long time there, I didn't keep any of my stuff at my fiance's because I have a big fear of commitment. But I'm trying to get over that. So every time I go to my house, every day, I bring a little something over, and hopefully it works out. I also really like renovating. I'm a DIY renovator. I'm not like the ones I'm seeing right now that are like there's this couple in Florida who destroyed a fireplace. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about as I'm saying this, but they like made they gave it a German schmear, and it looks gross. And then they added this this fake wood beam that looks like a Snickers bar. And just the more and more I see the renovations on that house, it looks wretched. But I'm very maximalist style when I'm renovating or designing a room. I'm very into that. And actually, I get to, starting here soon, I'm going to be renovating my fiance's house, which isn't like as exciting as I'd like it to be because it's all wallpaper. So I'm going to have to just take a lot of wallpaper off. It's so gross. It's just so gross. What were people thinking in the 70s with this wallpaper, guys? I also game. I play not like a huge variety. It tends to be a lot of the same or, you know, related to kind of games. The main one that I like is Minecraft. I've been playing that on and off for about 10 years. I have the same save file for at least 3. I really like it. I enjoy there's, you know, I wish there was like a little task bar, I guess, sometimes, but at the same time, I also get overwhelmed when there are tasks. So I just like the fact that I can go in and destroy blocks and then just go from there. I don't build often. When I do build, it's like I will do about half of the project and then I walk away from it. So a lot of like most of the places that I'm building up are like half finished. And it looks weird, but for me, like, it just makes sense. I play Stardew Valley. I'm waiting for 1.6 update to start because me and my fiance are going to start a new save file together, and we're going to actually get married in this one, because in the last one I made us become a polycule with Sebastian and Abigail because I stan them. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize Sebastian had little frogs in his room. So if I had known that, I would not be married to Shane in one of my save files, because Shane is so fucking gross. He is just ew. But I'm playing Stardew Valley. I like it. I don't really like the whole like fighting and going into Skull Cavern, which is actually why my fiance and I play together, because he does all of that and I just get to decorate. And now that I found out that we can adopt more than one animal now, I am ecstatic, very excited, and I get to design our house. I get to design little locations. It's really great. It's really real. I play a majority of the Fallout series. I got started on Fallout 4. I had this friend group in high school that we played it the weekend that it released. And then I couldn't get Fallout 4 for Xbox 360, but I could get Fallout 3. So I played that for a long time. And then my cousin gifted me Fallout New Vegas, and I got addicted to that to the point where that's all I could talk about. Like, I was so hyper fixated on it in high school for 2 years that in one public speaking class, my teacher just flat out told me one time, you cannot do every presentation in this class about that video game this year, because I did do it one semester. And he let me let it go. But after that, I was like, no more. You're not allowed to anymore. When I got an Xbox One, finally, when I was married, I bought, my ex-husband bought me Fallout 4, and I played it a lot to the point where it's like, I know so much. I don't play that game anymore as much, but I can still sit down and tell you where this, or this bobblehead is located, and how do you do this with a settlement, and I love it. I'm currently playing Fallout 76 because it's a multiplayer online game. I'm really now into games where I can play with my fiance. Back before I got with him, I used to play by myself, and I enjoyed it. But now that I'm with someone that plays video games, I enjoy having a teammate. I really enjoy having like a player or two, and it's really fun. It's really great because I get to sit there and talk about all these little video games that I like, and it's really good to also have a second person to be like, hey, like, where's this, where's that. We play Fallout 76 a lot because I love Mothman the Cryptid, and they recently were doing this whole Mothman event. Not like their normal one, but like this special one that was like every hour on the hour. So, I played for like 2 or 3 hours a day on it with him. And then there was also like just all these little like Mothman things. I like Mothman. I also started playing this new game called Lightyear Frontier, but it's a little overwhelming for me, so I don't really play it that much. I also beat it, too. That was another thing. So it's like once I kind of like, it's not like a game that has like a full-on storyline, but once you got this certain tool at the end of the game, you unlock this ancient ruin, and then you get this tool that basically lets you walk on water. I kind of lost any entertainment in it. I didn't really finish it, but it's like I basically finished it, so I haven't looked at it since. And it's just, the controls are a little wonky. It's a new game. It came out within the last 2 or 3 years. I play Lego Fortnite. I swore up and down forever that I would never play Fortnite. But then they released this Lego Fortnite thing. And let me tell you, I was watching videos of it, and I kept getting more annoyed as I kept watching, because I was like, oh my god, this is so good. This looks so great. So I finally sat down and I played it. I can't play it a whole lot because I don't know what it is about the graphics, but it hurts my eyes to do. So I can't play it a whole lot. But I do love playing with my fiance. It's always kind of fun. And I do a lot of building, and we play, and I collect little villagers, and I try to I do little things for each village, to say the least. It's great. I really love playing video games sometimes, but then like there's days where I just get really overwhelmed with like deadlines in the game and whatnot that it's like I don't really want to do it now. So I just kind of miss out on the whole benefit and the joy of the game overall, I guess. But there's a few games that I do want to play and that I would like to pick back up. For instance, I would love to start playing Animal Crossing. I saw that when it came out in 2020 and I fell in love with the whole aesthetic of it. I fell in love with the whole thing. I didn't get a Nintendo Switch though because, you know, I did get a stimulus check, but like I didn't technically have my own stimulus check, so it was like kind of weird not spending my own money, which kind of sucks looking back on it, but oh well. I was recently gifted a Nintendo Switch from one of my family members, and now I'm kind of at that point where it's like, okay, I need to just save up for the game and then like I can start playing it. I'm very excited. I'm a little nervous to like get my partner in on this game because he likes to find ways to just basically break the game and like be overly good at it, which is kind of like a downfall to playing with him because he's always so much better at these games than I am. So it's like I'm not looking forward to that part because he's definitely going to be better at Animal Crossing than I am, which sucks, but it's something I'm just gonna have to endure. I'm really excited to just play that game because I like the whole, I want to collect, I want to go fishing, I want to like meet little villagers and decorate homes, and there's that whole like wedding season thing. Oh my god, it's just so fun. Then it's on PS2 originally. It's called Harvest Moon. It's a Wonderful Life. But it got remastered and it's actually now on like Xbox One and I think PC. I could be wrong, someone can correct me if need be. But I was like on YouTube looking through gameplays one day and that just pops up like, oh yeah, we remastered the game, and I'm like, what? Huh? So that's like one of the very few video games where you know, because sometimes if I see something that's like from my childhood and they butcher it, I'm like, don't ruin my childhood. This is just making my childhood even nicer to look back on. I played on PS2, but it's kind of just hard. The original version is just so difficult to actually play through that I never really get past like halfway through year 2. I barely get through year 1 as it is. It's so hard. I'm always starving. I'm always passing out, and I rarely ever have money, but I always get married. That's like really the only nice side of it. There's a few other games in the Harvest Moon series, but that's like the main one because it got remastered. So I'm very excited for that one, to say the least. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up here because really it's like I've hit really the big points of who I am as a person. I'm Patrick. You know, it's not my birth name, but it's the name I chose, and it's really a big part of my identity, and it's, you know, it really helped me figure out who I am as a person. So, you know, I'm happy I had that life crisis at 17. I have a son. He would have been 5 weeks old today. I have 13 cats, and yes, I am legally a crazy cat lady, and I am proud. However, if anybody would like an indoor cat and is living in Kansas, leave me a comment or find me down on my social medias, which are going to be listed down below in the description. I have 2 dogs. Their names are Ghost and Tea. They're my best friends, and I love them dearly. I never thought I would be like a big dog person, but here I am with 2 pit mixes. It's beautiful. It's great. I have a fiance. I never thought I would get married again, but here I am planning out a wedding that's going to be happening at some point. I'm not sharing when that's going to be because we still haven't really like made it official yet. I'm still waiting on like an actual ring. We bought those rubber ones that they have at Walmart because we work in a machine shop and you can't, it's actually like a safety risk to wear jewelry. But I'm 22 And I like bringing up that I'm 22 because a lot of things have happened in my life already, but I'm impressed at myself that I've gotten through them all with stride. I'm a really strong person, to say the least. And, you know, a lot of things have happened to me that I really don't want to re-experience. But they helped make me who I am today, guys. I'm a machinist. I am definitely that girl that will I am so blue collar now. It's great. And, you know, I'm me. And I really hope I can make another video here soon that I will enjoy, and I'll maybe edit a lot sooner than 3 months. I don't know what it is about this video that just made it hard to sit down. I think it didn't help that like I gave birth about 3 to 4 weeks after filming this. And then if y'all don't know what it's like to be a postpartum pregnant newborn baby mom, you are basically in the trenches all the time. You're very exhausted, and now I am just recovering, to say the least. I'm never gonna mentally be okay after what all happened now. And I have like weird and aching pain from my epidural in my hip. Hurts all the time now. But this is who I am. I'm not sure what my next video is going to be. It's probably going to be another painting video. I've been really into just working on my sketchbook, but I think I might take you guys on the journey with me of getting ready to do this big painting for my son. So hopefully we'll see what happens, but you know, I'm okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. The last few minutes are just going to be, you know, me working on the painting and video me talking to you guys, but you can't hear me what I'm quite saying. So my name is Patrick. I have TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I try to be on these social medias, but you know, oh well. I have an Instagram. I do technically have a Facebook, but I don't really post on it because who the fuck is using Facebook these days? I say that, but I watch Facebook Reels more than like TikTok or Instagram Reels. But nevertheless, that's all for today, guys. And I will see you in the next video. So, bye.
I'm gonna like look back on this video when I go to like edit and just go, what the hell? So I like a really bright, colorful life. And it's like I do have like 3 favorite colors, which are pink, yellow, and green. So it's like, you know, obviously like some of these colors like are little reoccurring. So I like those. And it's like, I really didn't like pink growing up. I was very anti-pink for the longest time, if I'm being clear, if I'm being honest. Because the pinks that I was always wearing growing up just didn't really flatter me. Like, I didn't think I looked cute. I felt very just uncomfortable. Like, now that I painted the ton, I can definitely tell it's uneven, but I don't want to go back and redo, well, all of this, so. And I wasn't sure, like what was the viewpoint on this? I was like, I didn't know how to draw the tone, really. I'm not very good at drawing. I'm not very good at drawing people, which is why most of the time whenever I draw, it's like a self-portrait, because if it's going to look bad, it's at least just me. My favorite colors are those. I really like gaming. I really like those video games. For instance, like Animal Crossing. I really love the idea behind it. I've never actually gotten to play it, but I just really enjoy it. I used to play a lot of Sims 4 when I had a PC. I tried playing it on console, but it's not a pleasant experience really. So I don't do that. I love Minecraft. I've been playing the same save file for 3 years now. It's a long, long time to be playing the same world for me personally, because I was never really like that. I was always restarting around every 3 or 4 months. But I've had the same save file. It doesn't look that great or grandiose, in my opinion. This year I actually restarted, which basically means I killed my character and started off in a new location, because where all my building, my projects were are about 20,000 blocks away from spawn, if that makes any sense to you as the viewer. So I restarted, and I've been playing a lot. My ex and I play a lot together. He is kind of the one that, like, for this weekend and last weekend, he helped me find locations for stuff because I needed mud and mangrove, and he found that new archaeology site. I like games like that. I play Stardew Valley. I play Sims 4. I play Fallout. I love Fallout. I could talk about that all day, really. And I like horror movies. I've recently have gotten into enjoying food here lately. I like pasta a lot. I really like my personal favorites are like rigatoni and Alfredo. I mean, I want to cook more, especially when I have a kid now. So, but